break my heart.
Dua Lipa, Break My Heart. It is 8:18. Yes, we're a couple of minutes late, and Jennifer pointed that out. It is Scott Campsall joining us for Wellness Wednesday from Okami, Kai, and Jennifer Neveu. And yes, Jennifer, I do know we were a couple of minutes late. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's good someone's keeping track of time. I'm glad you are. But we are on the air. It is a Wellness Wednesday. It's our first Wellness Wednesday for 2021. How are you guys doing? I mean, since last we spoke, there is a lockdown back in place. So what does it mean for your dojo? I guess you are considered a gym, so then therefore no active classes within the classes themselves?
See, and there's a gray area. Because we're not necessarily a gym. We're a martial arts school.
Right.
So, and that's been the big argument since all of this started, was there was some people that said, oh, yeah, you're a fitness center, so therefore you're closed down. There were some other people that said, well, you're doing classes. And at one point they said even that we could train and do athletes and we could do fitness stuff and do sports, but then they actually said no sports that result in contact, and they actually said like martial arts. So that it's just been because of all of the conjecture and
every time there was a phase change, there was a wording change.
Right.
But now through this lockdown, they just sweeper-armed it, and we all fall under the same umbrella. So we're done.
Yeah.
The gym is closed. The martial arts school is closed. The fitness classes are closed. My music studio is closed. So everything's online. We all fall under the same umbrella.
Yeah, so
right.
Yeah.
Well, and I've asked this question of other businesses since the lockdown we had in the spring and now. Do you approach this a little differently because you've been through it before? You hadn't been online before, but now you've done that and actually continued to incorporate that into your business, at least a portion of it.
Yeah, we've gotten much better at handling not only the platform in terms of the online Zoom portion of it, but we've also gotten much better at handling how the business runs, or how our businesses, plural, run using that platform. So dealing with, the actual technology portion of it was a significant learning curve for us. And for our students, and then going into how one teaches stuff like group fitness, which I have to say is the easiest one of them all to teach online, and then martial arts, things like self-defense, teaching that online, and teaching music online. It's all been it's been a steep learning curve. But now that we have those sort of stepping stones under our belt from the first lockdown, I think we've learned so much that we're able to apply those learning strategies and feel more confident, and I think a little less stressed.
Well, it's interesting. I heard somebody talking about it yesterday, and they said, I think it's really important. Actually, I think it was Chris Hadfield, the astronaut, who said, it's important when we view the future that we don't think of when we get to a norm, what kind of norm it is. The norm that we remember, it's gone. Things have changed, whether we like it or not. Things have changed, whether through technology, and you talk about, teaching those classes online. That's the way it's going to be. And the portions of that are probably going to be incorporated in businesses and in people's everyday lives.
Yeah, but there's some stuff that, and I think we talked about this before, there's definitely some positives out of this. Like, we had students that would leave, they would train with us in person, and then they would move, and they were looking for schools somewhere else. And I would get messages going, well, I went to this place, but it wasn't the same, or I didn't teach the same kind of stuff that you teach, or I didn't like it as much. I missed the community. And then, now we've got online. Well, okay, so you moved, so where? Okay, well, just plug us on your internet. Like, we never had that. And times when, every cold and flu season, Jennifer would be all upset because little kids were breathing all over her keys and everything. Well, why weren't we doing this before? Why weren't we sanitizing the keyboards? Why weren't we, it was just, some stuff, it was just it just seems so that we were just so naive.
How are you doing, emotionally, mentally, as far as the business is concerned? I know that you had a lot of conversations with politicians, and we are now going, are in a lockdown. Has your attitude or emotional state changed at all this time around?
Absolutely. You're right to say that we've spent a lot of time with politicians and discussing on different forums, and Scott sat in on a town hall Zoom meeting, and there was a lot of time where we felt that as business owners and as martial artists that we needed to fight, and we needed to fight to make sure that we kept our businesses running, not only for our own well-being and our family's well-being, but for our students' well-being as well. And we, at that point, felt like all of our energy had to be directed to the powers that be. So what we've discovered through that is that our energy in those ways has been fairly futile. And instead of feeling like we're banging our head against the wall and getting nowhere, we've decided to channel any of that energy instead into making ourselves as teachers the best that we can be, and hoping that we can bring that positivity to our students and to our clients now instead.
Yeah, we're talking as well, the business owner aspect of this. Do you see a change in the client aspect of this, in that, again, we're going through a second lockdown here. So we did it in the spring. We're doing this now, and it's more readily accessible from the client perspective as well?
Yeah, we still got some students that are checking in and saying, you know what, we're back locked down, so therefore we don't have the space or we don't have the technology. But the majority of students that we had lost in March, they're figuring it out. It's not so much that they're saying that they can't do online training. They realized before that it was just they won't do online training. So we've got students, like I have one little guy on Monday, and we thought he was done again because we were back online, and there he was, and that was so good to see him. And actually, he trains better at home. Like his mom was right there the whole time, and he was a little rocket on Monday night. He was just, I was blown away.
Wow. So I mean, again, we're talking about the positive aspects of this moving forward, and I guess it gets to the point too that there's nothing we can do about it, or the one thing we can do about it is what we're doing.
No, and that's sort of what I was saying to you before, is like originally when we were locking down, and I still, I've got friends that are teaching in Ottawa, and I really, that would have been a rough go. So their case counts were relatively low, and they were in Orange Restrict, and then all of a sudden they got told, yeah, you're locking down on Boxing Day. And so a lot of them are really angry. And I think the way that it went down, I think they've got a reason to be that mad. And then we've got people in Toronto that, they've been locked down for so long, and they watch their case counts rising. And I think there's still a lack of transparency from the government as far as, this is why you are being locked down. Like, and you and I, again, we talked about this before, where it's like, if you can't let your people understand why they're doing what they're doing, then it's going to be really hard to control them, But with us, actually, Ottawa was my big wake-up call as to how I wanted to change my thinking, because the mayor was so upset about the lockdown, and he was going to the government going, this isn't fair, this isn't right, and they didn't pay attention to him at all. And I'm thinking, if nobody's paying attention to the mayor, then, Dan, they're not paying attention to me either.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, you guys are online, and people, you could sign up. If you haven't even done the course before, you can sign up.
Yeah, we've got a New Year's package for online for martial arts. It's $149, and we'll give you 2 private half hours to get you going and make sure your tech's working and just give you some fundamentals so that you can get into a month of group classes. We deliver a uniform and a student handbook right to your door. We do it all safe. It's all wrapped up and everything, and we've got masks on when we drop it off.
And you can sign up. And what's the best way to do that? Just online?
Yeah, they can email us or contact us. Our website's got all our information, okamikai.com, okamikai.com. And
how did the holidays go for you guys? Was it nutritious?
There's more. She laughed, and all I can think of is there's more of me now, Dan.
Exactly.
We'll be the first to admit that we use our holidays as such, as holidays. We let it all go. So that was the food and drinking Olympics. We are happy to admit it.
Well, I have to say that I fall into those Olympics too. Apparently, I was leading the steeplechase.
We are strong contenders for gold medal for the Food Olympics.
Oh, I don't usually eat a lot of cookies, but yeah, there were a few cookies consumed.
The big sign to me was on, Monday we go back to regular classes, and I said, okay, let's start some jumping. So we're doing a little bit of jumping, just, a little hopping up just to get warmed up. And then I stopped jumping, but the rest of me didn't. I was like, so, yeah, I got some work to do. New Year's resolution, well, not so much a resolution for us. It's more of a solution.
We just got to get back to our lives. But you would absolutely, our holidays, we took them as holidays, for sure. We both needed that, though.
Who knew that Homer Simpson was going to be teaching a class?
Yeah. Let that blubber fly. Yeah.
Well, guys, stay strong, and we will stay in touch. Scott, we'll be talking to you again next Wednesday.
Sounds great, Jen.
Thanks
so much.
Have a good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That is Scott Campsall and Jennifer Neveu from Okami Kai. And again, they are continuing to teach. They are just doing it virtually.